And then Rich Eisen's here. He is, of course, NFL Game Day Morning and the Rich Eisen Show on the Mothership. And now you have This Was SportsCenter limited podcast series that you're doing interviews with SportsCenter anchors, including me.
That's right.
Later today.
What
exactly is the platform here? We're just reminiscing.
That's it. You and I have done this before.
Yes, we have. Yes,
and it's a fun series that it's mostly in the can, but you're the missing piece.
Wait, how many of these interviews have you done?
I've done 5 already.
Okay.
And you're the lead guest. You're the one who's we're coming out of the chute on June 5th.
Okay.
On Disney Plus and the ESPN app and my YouTube channel and wherever you get your podcasts, because you could watch it and listen to it.
Okay.
And I mean, the nostalgia of when we did what we did, or you were doing before I even arrived, with KO and Berman and, Bob Lee and Robin and Charlie. I mean, I can go down the whole lane here.
Who are the other anchors that you've interviewed?
I interviewed Chris Berman at the Super Bowl.
Okay.
And Chris Fowler then stopped off in my L.A. show studio after coming back from the Australian Open.
Okay.
So I interviewed him there. Mike Greenberg in New York. And then just this past week, I interviewed Linda Cohn and Lord Kilby.
Oh, Craig Kilborn.
Yeah.
Craig Kilborn.
Killer.
Yeah.
Killer. He spun some yarns, Dan.
Did he?
Including but it's just fun. Like I provide the memories that I have. Obviously, you and I go way back, and and how I first arrived there, and and some fun stories about that. And Craig, he and I overlapped by about 3 months, and I'll never forget. He took me to dinner. He asked, because we were doing a 2 a.m. Sports Center. He said, "Spark, do you want to go to dinner?" And I'm like, "Sure." We hopped in his car, and he took me through the Kenny Rogers Roll-In Roaster drive-thru.
Yeah.
In Southington.
Yeah.
Beautiful downtown Southington, Connecticut.
That wasn't Plainville? That was Southington?
It was Southington.
Okay.
And I'll never forget him after we ordered our chicken. He turns to me, and he proceeds to tell me that he's got another job offer, and should he take it? And I'm like, again, I'm 26. I just showed up from Redding, California. This might have been like my 10th Sports Center I ever did. I'm like, why is he even asking me this? And he described The Daily Show to me. And I'm like, sounds great, man. Like, go do it if that's what would make you happy. Honestly, I didn't know him from Adam. So to recount that story with him now, about 30 years later, not about it, is 30 years later. That's what this show's all about,
Have you reached out to Keith Olbermann?
I have indeed. And I tried to interview him when I was in New York recently, but schedules just didn't align. But he's up for doing it. Who else? But this is just for the first season. I'm just doing 6 just to get this ball rolling. But I told you this, and this is no surprise. I mean, you're the only person I'd want to be the first guest of this series, because of what you've meant to me and what you did mean to me back then, what you mean to so many people, and I appreciate you doing it.
The older I get, the better I was, though, Rich.
Is that what it is?
Yes, I think so. Because, when you're doing it, when we did SportsCenter, you're just trying to survive, because it's really, really competitive. And I tell people that it was cutthroat.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it wasn't, hey, we're rooting for you. You had people who were circling, the SportsCenter set, waiting for somebody to keel over so they could sit in the chair.
Well, and this is something that I plan on talking with you later. I mean, when KO left and your seat was open, it was on. I mean, it was way on for everybody who wanted that seat next to you, in the worst way. At least I know I did.
That was a bad time. It was a bad time for me because I didn't want to pick Keith's successor. I wanted management to do it.
Right.
Because I wanted them to be on the hook for that person to sit in Keith's chair, which that's, almost irreplaceable, trying to get somebody to sit in there. And so I turned it around to management. I said, tell me who you want to watch at night.
Right.
And I mean, I had my thoughts, but I was worried, were we going to try to recreate Keith and Dan? And I didn't want to do that because it wasn't fair whoever sat there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought, well, Linda Cohn could sit in, and then there won't be any comparison. And then they came back to me. I'm on a scouting trip with my son.
Mm-hmm.
I have no contact with anybody. They say they're going to make the decision over the next 2 days. And all of a sudden, I go to a convenience store to get a 6-pack of beer because I couldn't survive the scouting trip without having beer, even though they frowned upon that. You could lose a merit badge or something like that. And I see my phone. It's got a message, and it says, we're going to go with Kenny Mayne. And I called my boss, and I said, I got your message. Okay. And that was it.
Well, because we all assumed that you would be giving 2 cents.
I did not.
And that had to be, it had to be tough for you. But I mean, again, this is the sort of stuff that this show, This Was SportsCenter, is all about. Like diving into this behind the scenes, but
can
also
we just use
reminiscing.
that, and then I don't have to tell that?
Sure. No, I can head to the airport. Can we just clip and save?
Yeah.
But yeah, and I think fans can't get enough of it, And when you came back and did your show with with Keith, a few years ago, when you did your show with Kilborn, because he and I talked about that. That was the last time he did SportsCenter.
Mm-hmm.
Fans can't get enough of it, Dan. They really can't. I mean, I did it twice in the last year, and the reaction that I got was overwhelming and obviously humbling and awesome. It's just a different time, and that's why I'm just diving straight into the nostalgia.
He's Rich Eisen joining us here in the Man Cave and the podcast This Was SportsCenter, taking off the This Is SportsCenter campaign.
There you go.
June 5th on Disney Plus, ESPN, the Rich Eisen Show as well. The schedule release.
Yes, sir.
When did it become a thing?
When we were starting NFL Network, and we're like, what are we going to do in between games being played? And, and how are we going to follow through on the branding that we put out there? The very first NFL Network Super Bowl commercial was in 2004, after we launched in 2003, in the middle of the Patriots and Panthers Super Bowl, Jake Delhomme versus Tom Brady. And it was right.
Was that Janet Jackson?
It was
Super Bowl
indeed, sir.
Yes.
Which means, and this commercial was amazing because we got the rights to Tomorrow from Annie, and we had Jerry Jones and Bill Parcells and Warren Sapp and Terrell Owens and all the stars of the day singing Tomorrow, because the day after the Super Bowl is when NFL Network, you should still tune in, because everybody's 0-0, all 32 teams are active, and we're going to be all over it. That was the branding of the commercial, and I'll never forget it. I found a TV in the stadium in a suite. I snuck in so I could see the commercial. It was very big for me and everybody that worked there. And then it was in the commercial pod right after halftime. Nobody saw it. Not a soul saw the commercial. As a matter of fact, it was the most rewound TiVo moment in the history of that DVR.
Yeah.
So nobody saw the commercial, but we had to follow through on it though, Dan. We had to start coming up with things that we had to cover. And one of the first things we came up with was, what if we eventized the schedule being released? Like, what if we're celebrating paperwork? You know what I mean? Which is basically what it is.
Well, same thing with the draft. It's just calling out names.
That is it. I mean, like, you could do the NFL draft like your fantasy league and do it in two hours and be done with it, but it's a show. And now it's something massive where it's like the Super Bowl for every team's social media group. And they've been better at it. They've been great at it. These are fun videos to watch. And now it's a big thing. And now, the NFL times it with their 10 different partners and all the upfronts, and everybody announces a game here and a game there. And I think it just gives the NFL a big splash in the middle of May right now.
Is there such a thing as too much football?
I don't think so. Do you?
I think we're inching closer to. Are you going to watch all the games?
Well, I think you're asking a lot of people when, Thanksgiving is one thing. Hey, we're all sitting around. We don't want to talk to each other. Let's watch a game. Or you've spoken to each other enough. Let's watch a game. And there's three of them. Now it's a Wednesday and a Friday with the three in the middle. If I'm the NBA, I'm like, you're looking at that Christmas Day triple header.
Oh, they crushed. They just
those, and the NFL. You could see the NFL is deciding to just keep on raising the ante on those holiday specials.
Yeah.
I mean, the Thanksgiving games used to be, 2 games, and it didn't matter who the Lions or the Cowboys were playing. Now, last year they put the Chiefs in Dallas, 57 million viewers for that one, and the NFL's like, all right, let's see if they, last year can hold this year's beer, and they decide to put the Eagles in Dallas after the Bears and the Lions before the Chiefs and the Bills, and that's after the Rams and the Packers kick it off on a Wednesday, and the Steelers and the Broncos have at it on a Friday. So that's asking a lot of people to watch all 5.
Well, I think we're doing a disservice to Sunday afternoon schedules. Like, I worry about that where we're kind of kicking games to the curb, like Sunday at 1 and Sunday at 4:30. Sunday night is still going to be special with NBC.
Okay, so you're lighting a candle for Scott Hansen? Is that what you're saying right now? Scott,
well, imagine
can we give
he's
Scott
got one
scraps?
game. Scott Hansen has one game to show
red
you.
game? It's a red game. It's not even a zone anymore. It's red game. All right, well, they're on the 23-yard line, and it's sure.
What happens to the NFL Network?
What do you mean?
Games,
well, it's now. The games are now. They're still on NFL Network. There's 7 of them, 5 international, 2 others.
Nothing changes though with the marriage.
No, I have been told Sunday game day morning that I'm hosting is the same, and so is the combine and the draft.
Okay.
We're still gonna have the combine. We're still gonna have the draft. The rest of it, I mean, we didn't have a scheduled release show for the first time in years. I don't know if that's an indication other than just.
But do you want to be introduced as ESPN's Rich Eisen or the NFL Network's Rich Eisen?
How about your good friend here on your birthday?
Oh, I know, but I have to say,
okay.
Rich Eisen.
No.
NFL Network's Rich Eisen, who also works for the mothership.
The Rich Eisen show's Rich Eisen. Just so because you could say my name twice in the same sentence.
Oh, okay. Product placement.
There you go. Yeah, but it's all about the branding. But no, it doesn't matter to me. But it's pretty wild to me. I'll tell this story to you. When I went back and I did SportsCenter in Bristol. Or did I tell you this when I called you the other day? Whatever. I'll tell it here. Because, 23 years ago, I got handed a cardboard box. And I was escorted.
With your remains, your SportsCenter remains.
I was escorted,
You were
man.
escorted?
Yes, sir. I was escorted, man. I went in, and then I was escorted. And then Pete McConville and Gus Ramsey,
Was I there when you got escorted?
I don't think so.
23 years ago?
23 years ago.
But I was there.
And they helped me clear out my apartment after I got escorted. So I had a cardboard box. And when I went back this time, I wore my show gear. I wore a Rich Eisen show pullover. And I did that on purpose because I'm like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to wear my show gear because I'm a partner of ESPN. I'm not just an employee. I'm a partner. Damn straight. Okay? And I'm a partner. I'm going to walk through that same door with my show gear that I walked out of with my cardboard box. I was escorted out. And not only could I not find that place when I first got there, because it's a totally different spot, I finally found it, and it's now a brick wall. So I'm like, okay, I'm so glad I spent all that energy on that. But it's just totally changed. It's totally changed, but it's wild that, I have an ESPN ID now, and I am an ESPN employee again. Working for the spot that I left to go start. You can't make it up. It's wild.
When I went back after 10 years and I was on with Van Pelt, and I showed up at the security desk with Paulie.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to go back. I still had bad feelings there and some things that happened behind the scenes. But Scott said, hey, look, I'm launching this show. Will you please come on? And I said, yes, I'll do it for you. I get there at the security desk, and the guy goes, ID, please. I said, I helped build this place.
Yeah.
And then he goes, I'd still need an ID.
That's right.
So he gave me a, hello, my name is Dan. So he gave me a name tag, which I wore on the show with Van Pelt. I'm like, all right. And then I remember the producer, Mike McQuaid, goes, hey, can you take that off? I go, no, Q, I'm going to wear this.
Yeah.
I they don't, this guy didn't care, didn't know. Didn't matter. Yes, Paulie.
And Rich, on the way out, Dan lit up the tires and did a patch in the parking lot.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I had my truck.
Attaboy.
And then I'm like, all right.
Good for you.
And I burned rubber.
You burned rubber in Bristol.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Take that.
Because when I did the Sports Center a few weeks ago, I showed up early, and they have this terrific team there for special pieces and features involving Sports Center. And we shot a This Was Sports Center kind of mock-up, old school commercial based on my return. And one of the segments or parts of the piece was I walk up and my card doesn't work. And so we had this guy in a New York accent who was really working behind the security desk scream, can I see some ID? And I held up a picture of me and Stuart from like 30 years ago. And the guy goes, really? That's the sort of thing you're talking about? Like, I've been here, like you did with Keith and all of the colleagues you had in the day, created something incredibly special, man, that it still resonates today. It's part of your fan base as you sit in that chair. And it's also part of the reason why, Van Pelt says, I want you to please come, and why I'm physically here and appreciate you doing this on your birthday, because, you deserve it. I know you don't like people talking about you like this.
No.
But it's the truth, man. You're the man.
We'll take a break. It's a Meat Friday if you want to join us outside.
I have already seen what's going down out there, and I would be offended if you asked me to leave.
All right.
To be honest.
You'll be able to see this episode June 5th on Disney Plus, ESPN, The Rich Eisen Show, YouTube channel, wherever you get your podcast. Rich Eisen of NFL Network, ESPN NFL /network.
Yes, that's it.
We'll take a break. Back after this.